Beerus is the God of Destruction of Universe 7 in the Dragon Ball franchise. He first appeared in 2013's movie Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, and then later appeared in Resurrection F and the new Dragon Ball Super series. Initially written in by Yusuke Watanabe, Beerus was changed drastically from the original screenplay of the movie when Toriyama stepped in to rewrite. But more on that later. While the Kaioshin create life throughout the universe, Beerus destroys in order to keep balance. His original title is Hakaishin Beerus, or God of Destruction Beerus when translated into English. Although when the Battle of Gods dub by Funimation was released, his title was altered from the Japanese version. The script writers for the English dub named Beerus' title in most cases as Beerus the Destroyer.
Beerus the Destroyer. Beerus the Destroyer!
That Beerus the Destroyer.
Beerus the Destroyer! Beerus the Destroyer!
Beerus the Destroyer. Beerus the Destroyer. Beerus the Destroyer.
Beerus the Destroyer for the job of Destroyer. Beerus the Destroyer.
And of course a few times throughout the dub they did call him a God of Destruction or a Destroyer God, but that's really sparse. So why did Funimation retitle Beerus as the Destroyer exactly? Let's investigate. The first main reason that comes to mind when thinking about renaming God of Destruction is the religious intent behind it. Obviously the mention of the word God could be, for lack of a better word, insensitive to religious folk, so it was replaced by Destroyer. However, this doesn't make too much sense since, as I said before, God of Destruction was dropped several times in Battle of Gods, and on top of that the title of the movie is named Battle of Gods. If it's not because of the religious content of the name God of Destruction, then why did Funimation alter Beerus' name slightly? Well, the most simple answer is usually the right one, and I believe it's simply because of lip flaps matching better with Beerus the Destroyer. Me personally, I believe it depends on the scene and situation, since in Battle of Gods sometimes Kaiosama or King Kai in the English dub said God of Destruction and Destroyer God, but most of the time it seems Beerus the Destroyer fits the mouth movements more. Also, most people in Dragon Ball Super just name him Beerus-sama, which will be translated into Lord Beerus in the English dub later on in the arcs, so the Destroyer name isn't a huge deal. Now you know my predicted thoughts regarding Beerus the Destroyer and the English dub name. Like I said, this is only an educated guess and may or may not be actually correct, but I strongly think it is the case. I mean, Chris Sabat, the director and head person with Dragon Ball dubbing at Okatron and Funimation, recently said on Twitter that he chose Zamasu instead of Zamas because it fits the lip flaps more suitably, so I have a strong bet that he did the same for Beerus the Destroyer. I know Beerus the Destroyer kind of sounds like Conan the Destroyer, but hell, anything's better than that Harmony Gold Battle of Gods dub where they named him Beerus for Wonder Cat. Kidding aside, that leads me to another point about Universe 7's God of Destruction, and that is, who can we name the creator of the character? As I've stated before, Battle of Gods was just another Toei written Dragon Ball movie in the planning stages at least, with a screenplay by Yusuke Watanabe. His version of Beerus consisted of him being pure evil, infecting the hearts of people to make them turn bad. Watanabe's version of Beerus was also the catalyst for the Saiyans being barbarian warriors, but when Toriyama stepped in, due to his poor opinion of the American adaptation of Dragon Ball named Dragon Ball Evolution, he drastically altered Watanabe's Beerus. Toriyama was like Toho, as whenever America makes a new Godzilla movie, Toho comes right back and does justice with making their own version. This is kind of the same thing, but with Dragon Ball. Anyway, Toriyama rewrote Beerus into a more playful character and subsequently changed the entire tone of the Battle of Gods movie. Tadayoshi Yamamuro, before Toriyama came on board with the project, designed Beerus as a lizard creature, but then Toriyama changed him into a hairless cat, based on a cat of his own. The question still stands though, who created Beerus? Well, Watanabe created the framework of Beerus being a god of destruction. Toriyama ran with that, altered his personality traits and made him a cat. So the answer is, it was really a collaborative effort between Toriyama and Watanabe, ironically without much real collaboration though. To conclude, that should clear things up about Beerus the God of Destruction, his creation process and the name Beerus the Destroyer. Please rate, comment and subscribe. See you later. Also, most people in Dragon Ball Super just name him Beerus Summer, which will be translated into Lord Beerus in the English dub later on in the arcs, so the Destroyer name isn't a huge deal since it doesn't really have much to do with the Beerus Summer fucking I fucked this line up. Fuck, have to do it again.